Right, how's everyone doing? Good, I hope. I'm gonna try and play every version of Doom available on my Atari VCS, Now, the only version of Doom that I can't play on my Atari VCS is the Sega Saturn version. For whatever reason, I mean, we just can't find that version, um, the Sega Saturn version, or it won't work anyway. Now, my Atari VCS is 8 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage. That's the way it was out of the box. So I haven't upgraded my Atari VCS. Now people tell me that if we did, we could install Windows 10 onto it, and then we'd be able to find an emulator that could play the Sega Saturn version of Doom. Now I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going by what people are telling me, But for whatever reason, the only version of Doom that I can't find and play on my Atari VCS is the Sega Saturn version of Doom. Now, I love the Sega Saturn version of Doom, even though it has its problems. That's where I got Doom for the first time back in the day on my Sega Saturn. I had to wait for a long time till 1997. I was finally able to get my hands on Doom for myself for my Sega Saturn, and even though it was disappointing, I still had fun playing the game. And it is a bad version, but I like the game. We have fun playing it, and but for whatever reason, no one wants to emulate it or put in the effort to emulate it. I don't know, anyway. So I'm gonna go to Chrome, and I'm gonna play pretty much every version of Doom that I know, and that works on the Atari VCS. Now this is without upgrading it around. This is just straight through Chrome, online emulators and stuff. So I'm gonna go to Google. I love Doom, and it's awesome being able to play it on the Atari VCS. So the PS1 version of Doom I know works, and there's a multiple online emulators for it. But the third one down, playretrogames.com. That's the site that I use to play the PS1 version of Doom, because we can use the VCS controller with it. Now I showed this earlier on. I was playing this game with the VCS joystick, so I'm gonna have to reconfigure the controls for the controller, I'm just showing it that the PS1 version does work, Takes a while to load. And this online emulator seems to be the best in my opinion. We can use the VCS controller and the joystick. And this emulator has the PS1 version of Doom, the Super Nintendo version of Doom, and I think it has the... Well, I'll find out now in a minute, Actually, you know what? Now, I know that Doom works for the PS1, It just takes a bit of time to load. That's the only thing, But there it is. Loaded complete, Just wait. So I know this works, Doom for the PS1. It's picking up the controller. But I'm gonna have to configure the controls again, because earlier on I had to configure the controls for the joystick. So I had to reconfigure the controls for the controller and then save it. But it does work. So this is the PS1 version, and Williams did the PS1 version and the Super Nintendo version, and I was hoping to God that the Williams would do the Sega Saturn version, but they didn't. Some crowd called Ray Software did the Sega Saturn version, and they just destroyed it, a classic ruin on the Sega Saturn, which everyone bought into the hype in Sega Saturn magazine that had Doom on the cover. We were just convinced that the Doom was going to be awesome on the Sega Saturn. There's no way, it could turn out so bad, but it did turn out so bad. Frame rate issues, missing music tracks. In the American version of Doom on the Saturn, there was no deathmatch mode, no cooperative mode, and all the cool lighting effects that are in the PlayStation version were missing from the Sega Saturn version. But even though I had all them problems back in the day, I was really happy that we could finally own Doom for myself for the Sega Saturn, even though it was a bad version. Like some levels that are playable, but later levels it becomes unbearable, the frame rate, and there's just no excuse, So I'm just mapping out the controls again for the controller. Then I'm going to save the settings, and Doom for the PS1, in my opinion, is the best console version of the game that came out back then, And the Sega Saturn version was based on this version, but like I said, Rage Software did the Sega Saturn version and they just didn't care about it, They didn't put in any effort whatsoever. And it's just a shame, Yeah, so this is Doom on the PS1. We'll go full screen. Just to show that it does run the PS1 version, as you can see. Pretty cool, And you see all the cool lighting effects. In the Sega Saturn version, they're missing, But it's awesome having the Atari VCS, I don't have to dig out my consoles and the version of Doom to play the game. Just play the convenience and comfort on my Atari VCS, and it's pretty awesome, So yeah, so that's Doom for the PS1, right? So well, now that the Super Nintendo version is here also, and Final Doom is on this online emulator as well. It's called PlayRetroGames.com. Yeah, so here's the Super Nintendo version, which is pretty cool. And again, I'm gonna have to reconfigure the controls for the controller, because earlier I was using the joystick, so pretty cool, the Super Nintendo version loads a lot faster because it's just a cartridge leak, and so that's Doom for the Super Nintendo. Pretty cool. Now, people, William C did the Super Nintendo version, and people say that the Super Nintendo version is the worst version of all the Dooms. I don't know, it's either this or the Sega Saturn version, It's Doom on the so I'm gonna have to reconfigure the controls for it, So no, so that's Doom for the Super Nintendo. So I'm gonna have to now. Like I said, you don't have to do this all the time, but because we would change the controls to the joystick, I have to redo it again for the controller. It's not a big deal, and it has the right amount of buttons. The controller, so it makes more sense to play the game with a controller than the joystick, But it's more challenging with the joystick. I'll give it that, And pretty cool, And once you do this once, you just save it and you're good to go, Yeah, so that's. Well, as you can see, there's no texture on the ceiling or the floor. But for the time, I thought this was pretty good. considering it's a Super Nintendo, like at the time I thought this was better than the 32X version because I had all the levels, and the music was way better. Like I said, I don't think that the Super Nintendo version is missing, in my opinion, is the graphics, But there's no save feature in the Super Nintendo version, and there's no password system, so you have to beat the game in one big go. You know what I mean? And the enemies in this are always facing towards you, so you can't sneak up on them or make the enemies fight each other. But this again, this is the Super Nintendo, which is awesome. You know, I think So I have to say, which is the worst version, Well, the Super Nintendo version is one of them, when you compare this to the PlayStation version. But this is more stable than the Sega Saturn version because, like I said, in the Sega Saturn version, the frame rate gets so bad it's worse than this. It really is. The controls get delayed, and the enemies move a lot slower in the Sega Saturn version. So it's not as hard. The game, it's too easy sometimes. But I have fun with it because it is so easy. Because the Super Nintendo version is harder, yeah, so that's Doom for the Super Nintendo. At the time, I thought it was awesome. But everyone knew that the Sony PlayStation version was on the way. So most people were saving their money to get a Sony PlayStation and Doom. Well, not everyone, but I say most people probably were, But I mean, a lot of people seem to hate the Super Nintendo version. I don't. It's still Doom, and pretty cool. I think, It's been awesome. It's awesome playing all the versions of Doom available on the Atari VCS, Yeah, so that's Doom for the Super Nintendo. So I don't believe there's any other versions of Doom on this online emulator, So I'm gonna go to the 32X version of Doom. Now there's two versions of Doom on the 32X. Doom and Doom 32X Resurrection, which is Doom remade for the 32X, and 32X online. Yeah, and Doom on the Sega 32X, it has better graphics and everything, but half the game is missing. So that's this online emulator here, retro games online. So this is the place to go if you're going to play the 32X version, and it loads really quickly, and the sound effects and the audio in this version is terrible. It really is. And there's no excuse really. It was just rushed. Sega rushed this game out to get it out for Christmas time in 1994, and it's just really, really disappointing. It really is. It's in a box, and the audio is just garbage, and it's just missing a whole lot of stuff. But it runs good. It runs better than the Super Nintendo version, and the graphics are good, I suppose, But the audio is really bad, and the levels are called level 1, level 2, level 3, So this is Doom for the 32X, Just the audio fails, And there's no there's a lot of levels missing. So even though it just looks better than the Super Nintendo version, the Super Nintendo version has better audio, has all the levels. So in this version of Doom for the 32X, there's no BFG 9000. and there's just a whole lot missing because the Sega rushed it to get it out for Christmas 1994, but it hasn't been able to play it on the Atari VCS, and I don't have to. Like, setting up the Sega 32X was a nightmare, and all the words and stuff, and it's just a nightmare. But with this, we'll just play it in comfort. And this one, like the enemies are still facing towards you. I mean, so that's a Doom for the Sega 32X, and it was it's just the audio and the missing levels. They're the two big issues with Doom on the on the 32X, like, you know. Some people prefer this over the Super Nintendo version, but you know, this is meant to be a 32-bit system, the 32X, but it should be doing a lot better than what it is, like, you know. But anyway, so that's Doom for the 32X, like, you know, still playable now, but we just I can't. If someone was to ask me which one would you recommend, the 32X version or the Super Nintendo version, I say the Super Nintendo version that has all the levels and the audio is better, and it's cheaper, you know. So that's my opinion. So that's Doom for the 32X, you know. Now here's and this emulator has a ton of systems, you know. N64, Sega 32X, everything. You know, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. So this emulator, I believe, has Doom for the Game Boy Advance. But okay, I'm gonna show you Sega 32X Resurrection. Right? Now, this is the way Doom should have been on the 32X, and this was fan made, you know. And the title screen is the same as Doom on the PlayStation, and has a better frame rate, better audio, better everything. So, like, if Sega had worked on Doom for a bit longer on the 32X, this is the way it should have been in 1994, like, you know. But I believe this was a fan project, because I remember back in the day, I couldn't actually get this on cartridge, you know, so already it looks and sounds a lot better, like, you know. I'm gonna have to set up the controls for this game. Yeah, so this is different. So you have to select each button to do what, like, you know. So as you can see, a lot better than the 32X version, you know. Now the audio is still a bit garbled, but it's way better than the 32X version. And it runs at 60 frames per second, I believe, you know. And pretty cool. Yeah, so this is Doom 32X Resurrection, you know. And I wish the same people that did this remade Doom for the Sega Saturn and the I see the enemies are You can see them from the side, from behind and all, like, you know. They're pretty cool, like, you know. Yeah, so the Atari VCS is awesome, you know. It really is, like. And we had no idea that Doom was remade for the 32X, and I wouldn't have discovered it if it wasn't for the Atari VCS. Yeah, so this is definitely better than the 32X version. It's better than the Super Nintendo version, and it's even better than the Sega Saturn version and the 3DO version. So that's Doom for the Sega 32X. So when I'm talking about the 3DO, I'm going to show you the 3DO version, you know, of Doom, and pretty cool. The 3DO, and now this is the only place, the only online emulator that plays 3DO games that I know of. So Doom for the for the 3DO league, you know, and it has great music, but the frame rate is just as bad as the Sega Saturn version, and the controls are really delayed. But you know, the game is complete, and the frame rate stays at around 20 frames. It doesn't change. Whereas with the Sega Saturn version, the frame rate can dip down to 10 frames per second. And the Doom for the 3DO was, I believe, it was the first console version of Doom, because this came out early 1990. Well, it came out in 1996. You know, which I thought it came out. Oh wait, hold on. See, it gives a description of the game and all, like, and yeah, Logicware and Art Data did Doom for the 3DO league, you know. It tells you what keys do what buttons do what, you know. So pretty cool. Yeah, so it has better audio, that's for sure, like, you know. When I go full screen. Now we're Doom for the 3DO, it runs in a box as well, like, you know. Back in the day, it was very expensive to play Doom on the 3DO, and it just wasn't worth the money, you know. Yeah, you see how choppy the frame rate is. And the 3DO was over 700 quid. And to get Doom, you're talking 750 quid. You know what I mean? And it just was gone up against the 32X version and the Super Nintendo version. But believe me, there's a lot of delay in the controls when compared to the 32X version or the Super Nintendo version. And this system was hyped up saying, this is the real gaming console, the 3DO. Like, they even went out of their way to insult the Super Nintendo and the Sega Mega Drive. But what I'm saying is, with the 3DO version, it doesn't get any worse than this. You know what I mean? So at least it's stable, even though it's pretty shitty, but it's stable. Whereas the Sega Saturn version can get even worse than this, like, you know, and it's unacceptable. Because Doom for the Sega Saturn came out, 5 years after this version? Yeah, because I believe this was one of the earlier versions of Doom, like, you know. Yeah, definitely 1994, early 1994 was when the console version started coming out, like, you know. And Doom for the Sega Saturn, I believe, was the last one, like, you know, in 1997, like, you know. But the music's awesome. And I believe with Doom on the 3DO, only one person part it over, which is insane. Like, you know, they give a massive game like Doom, only one person to part the game, and she had a deadline. It was a woman, I can't remember her name. She was given a deadline, just like Sega had a deadline for Christmas. 3DO art that day, or whoever made the decision to put one person in charge of parting Doom for the 3DO. You know what I mean? So crazy, yeah, back in the day. It's a shame, you know. It should have been like time again. Like if the person that did the 3DO version had a lot of talent, like, you know, if she was given more time and if she had more help, I say it probably would have turned out better. But each of these companies were desperate to get it out for Christmas to make a ton of money, like, you know, and they didn't care how bad the game was, because they knew once they had it, it'd sell like a lot, and it did. So it's just a shame, like, you know. But like the 3DO version, it's right down there with the Super Nintendo version, the 32X version, and the Sega Saturn version. You know, it's just unfortunate, you know. But everyone's it's gonna have to pick for which version of Doom is the worst. But after playing them all, like the Sega Saturn, it's hard, you know, because I had the Sega Saturn version. Remember, like, that was the first time I got to play Doom for myself on my own console. I played the PlayStation version a little bit, and I was blown away by it. So I was totally convinced that, yeah, I'm going to wait till 1997 to get my Saturn version of Doom, and it's going to be awesome. Boy, was I wrong, like, you know. But see how jerky it gets and stuff, the 3DO version, but it doesn't get any worse than this. So that's why I give the 3DO version a pass. I mean, the guy's face moves. See the Doom guy's face. So whereas in the 32X version, the guy's face hardly moves, like, you know. So I don't know, like, you know. So anyway, that's Doom for the 32X. Right, there's a ton more versions of Doom out there, so we'll do this in a separate part. So I hope everyone has a good day. That's a bunch of Doom games on Chrome for the Atari VCS. So have a good day, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.